Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We are live, we are back, and with our match reaction of yesterday's brilliant game between QPR and Watford, where QPR secured a lovely 2-1 win. As you can tell by the title, 3 on the trot. I just got to change that image. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, people. Where is it? Where's the one that I need? There it is. Yeah, that's Norwich. Oh, Norwich. Where's the Watford one? I just did it a minute ago. There it is. Cool. Bam. Right. So yeah, as you can tell by the title, we are back. And it was very good game yesterday. Very good game. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As you know, we pretty much rushed home for that game yesterday. We did. We rushed home very much to make sure that live stream was going to happen. Like I said, guaranteed promises I usually keep. So yeah. We've got in the chat. We've got Elliot, Nick, and Football. Hi DB, hope you're good. I'm good, Nick, man. How are you? H Football, hi DB. How are you, H Football? How are you, everyone in the chat? How are you all? Listen, bruv. It's Saturday and there's no football, bruv. It's. We've just watched pretty much Liverpool get dominated by Man City yet again. All football was technically yesterday. We got scum of the earth Chelsea playing later on. Like, it's gonna be a dead day today. It's gonna be a dead day. For football, really, for sports. But yeah. Good Friday yesterday. It was a good Friday for sure, with QPR beating Watford 2-1. We'll wait for a little while, see who else gets into the chat and whoever's watching. Hopefully all having a good Easter at the moment. Any big stories at the moment with you guys? I know Nick must have something. Nick, you must have something. You must know something. What's going on? Played very well yesterday. Good all-round performance from Nick says. H. Wolves has played very well yesterday. Okay. Well, yeah, it's good to see that we got a bit of faith in the chat. We do. Of the performances. Like I said, 3 in a row. Absolutely buzzing on it. You know, if we could get some more wins in the bag, it'd be much appreciated. Let's go to this one here, where we got all our ratings, as you can tell and as you can see. So yeah. QPR, would I say it was a dominant performance? That's a good question, actually. Because we did really well. I'm not interested to hear your thoughts, Nick. Ooh, okay. Okay, well, we're going to get into that now. So before we left the stream yesterday, obviously someone said we was 11th. We're actually 10th, because of the draw that Norwich had, I believe. But yesterday's performance was, wow, like, I wouldn't say we dominated the game, but that first half and that, like, constant first half was a very dominant first half. You know, it's something I've wanted to see all season. You know, we saw a glimpse of it at Preston, like I keep saying, at the start, and that's exactly how I wanted to see it pretty much every game as we start a game. There was a glimpse of it in that game against Watford where we looked so strong straight away on kickoff. Amadou and Benge. Now, there was a lot of controversy of the Amadou and Benge start, where obviously it was technically a goal, but obviously it was disallowed because of a foul, free kick to Watford. Now, was it a foul? Personally, I looked at it and I don't think it was a free kick. I don't think it was a free kick. I think it should have been counted as a goal, and that's why I'm saying about VAR. Maybe that might have ruled it out. But yeah, I personally think that could have been 1-0. I think the referee made an awful decision in that one. There's got to be a lot of work in that, for sure. AB says, best we've played in ages. Clean, not clean, not Vleen. Did I say Vleen? Deserved to win by more and should have been a... Oh, clean sheet. I never saw that. Free kick first, never was. Yeah, I don't think it was a free kick. I think it was a goal. Personally, I think Amadou and Menge scored that. I honestly do. I think Amadou scored the first goal to make it 1-0, but obviously it was disallowed. And even from then, we looked very strong. You know, we usually say first 25 minutes, first 30 minutes is usually pretty much just all us. But the whole game in the first half was all us. You know, it was very dominant performance. You know, the possession obviously wasn't there, but the expected goals was there. You know, obviously the first goal came from Ryan Colley. We had a couple of opportunities before that, but Ryan Colley's goal was superb, absolutely superb, and it was one of them things where it happened as soon as I said something, as always. So Amadou kept attacking that right side, and the crossing was just awful, absolutely awful. The crossing has got to be better. But then I did say Jimmy Dunn might have to start doing that right back scenario and start crossing it. And what happens? He does the thing that I said, gets the ball into the back post. A great touch from Paul Smith to get it back in to a dangerous area in front of the goal, where Ryan Colley heads it into the back of the net to make it 1-0. Great goal. There was a lot of controversy of the celebration beforehand, where he ignored Kone. I would ignore it completely. It don't mean shit, to be honest. But personally, I also think the celebration was quite funny because obviously it was posted today what it meant. So one of the Watford players got interviewed and obviously got given in training in an interview about the Michael Jackson glove, and obviously that fucked up. So that's what the celebration was about with Colley. So all dues to him. But it was a great finish and a great setup. A great assist by Paul Smith. Listen, Paul Smith has been on form for the last couple of games, and it's been phenomenal, man, honestly. It's been great. I thought the ref gave the goal at first. I was Vale that crossed it in, though. It was Jimmy Dunn. I thought it was Jimmy Dunn that crossed it. I don't think it was Vale. I think it was Jimmy Dunn. I know Paul Swift got the assist, but yeah. But that was the first goal. And then obviously we kept attacking a little bit more, and there was chances. Obviously we hit one off the post with Vale. And then obviously a strike from Paul Smith, which took a deflection. But not much happened. Obviously Colley did get a yellow card in the 29th minute, which pretty much, which obviously got him substituted at half time for Daniel Benny. I don't think it was a tactical change. It was more of just a basically change where he was more worried that he would get booked because he was technically dangerous. I'm sure it was done across the inn. I'll have a look at it. I'll have a look at it. Just a bit concerned with Morgan. Don't know what happened with his performance this season, as he had an outstanding season when he broke through into the first team. But whatever reason, he doesn't look right. Nick says, no, it was Vale. Okay, I'll have a look at AB for sure. I'll have a look at it. I thought it was Jimmy Dunn. I'll have a look at it. But yeah, that first half ended in 1-0, and we were superb. We did really well. And in the second half, we obviously, Daniel Benny came on for Colley for that substitution and the yellow card. We had chances in the game for sure in that second half, but the main one was obviously when Paul Smith scored the second goal, and it was a great beauty. I thought that was how Harvey Vale had scored, but it wasn't. It was actually a great setup, a great goal from Paul Smith, knocking it into the back of the net and the bottom low. Yeah, it was brilliant. Paul Smith, for some reason, the last couple of games has been smashing it, been putting them in, doing a great performance. So yeah. But to your comment about to Kieran Morgan, I've said this, look, many times already. Kieran Morgan hasn't been the same as he was last season, and out of respect, like I said, I don't think he's shit. He's not shit. at all. You know, I'm going to be honest with a performance when I see it. You know, there's times this season where he's done good passes, and we saw that at Coventry, we saw that in certain games. But we haven't seen the best of him like he did last season. Unless it's a different thing that we're looking at, then cool. But as far as I'm aware, the Kieran Morgan that we saw last season, it's kind of disappeared. You know, I'm not saying he's shit whatsoever, because I really think he's a good youngster. I think he's got potential. And I think for someone at his age, making it into the club the way he has, he's superb. Obviously superb. And I'm hoping next season we see a fresh face of his going forward. But yesterday, he actually looked a little better. I'm not going to lie. He looked a lot better yesterday. It wasn't too bad. Passing was on point. A little bit better. And positively, I would say he was a key thing in the midfield to help us. So, I thought he was very good yesterday. I thought he put in a good performance. I will say that. Coming out of his international break, getting the man of the match, well, the player of the week or whatever for England, as they call it, under 21s or whatever. So yeah, smashed it completely yesterday, Kieran Morgan. So shout outs to him. You know, after the second goal went in, not much. It went kind of dead. Watford were pushing. And that's when that little threat happened, when Loser had the free kick and scored it, made it 2-1. And then it was all Watford pretty much from there. You know, Watford were pretty much showing us a scary moment like we had against Wrexham, pretty much. You know, I think we defended really well yesterday. You know, unluckily we conceded a free kick in a bad position. I personally thought Joe Walsh could have saved that. But you know, everyone, the way the angle looked to me, it could have been different, but Joe Walsh for me should have been saving that. You know, expected goals on stat wise 2.12, total shots 15-7, big chances 5-1, ball possession obviously 46-54. You know, ball possession wasn't really there, but the expected goals was brilliant and the momentum was great. We kept on the attack, which was brilliant. So 3 good games on a trot, and we continued this game straight after international break looking superb. I would say key players that were very good yesterday. Edwards and Dunn, brilliant. And Bengay, like I said, defending in defence, absolutely superb. Even Davis did a great job yesterday. So full on defence, on point yesterday. I really enjoyed watching it. Brilliant. Keeper wise, Joe Walsh could have saved the free kick. Could have been a bit better with that. Paul Smith, Harvey Vale, absolutely brilliant on the wings, as always. Kieran Morgan killed it. Varane, I think it was an okay game for him. I'm not going to say he's shit, because I don't think we have any shit players. I honestly think we have a great team. Not ready yet for pushing it to playoff-wise or whatever, to Premier League-wise. A lot of work to do, but I wouldn't say our team is shit. Varane, though, yeah, he's had a bit of a weird season. I was just looking at what Robert was saying. Varane is piss poor. Listen, look, I think Varane is okay. You know, I think last season was alright. I think this season he's not been great. He's not been superb like we have seen. I don't know if it's a different role that Julian's put him in, but I personally think, you know, we kind of got to give him credit where credit's due, in the sense of, you know, he does pull off a really good performance majority of the time when he does win that ball back and pushes forward with Maddison. You know, I think personally he works well with Maddison. He does. I think working with Kieran Morgan is a bit different. You have 2 similarities in players. I think Kieran Morgan is more intensively a defensive midfielder than a box-to-box player. He's so negative. Who's so negative? What? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Varane to me is a good player still. You know, he wasn't superb this season. He hasn't been superb, but he's still had good performances with Maddison, I reckon. So yeah. But the forward line yesterday with Colley and Kone. Colley, superb, doing a great job at the moment, fulfilling Burrell's position. With Kone, do you know what? I will say this, man. I gotta give Kone his due to the last couple of games. You know, it's been brilliant. You know, Kone was pretty brilliant in the last couple of games. I would say Kone. I know he hasn't been scoring like we expected, but he has been doing his duties in the sense of holding that ball pretty well lately. I would say whatever's happened since the Leicester game, he seemed to have improved his game. So yeah. But apart from that, rating wise, where was the ratings? Jesus Christ, where's the ratings gone? So Joe Walsh ended on a 6.2, Davis with a 7.1, Edwards 7.7, Don 7.5, and Benge 6.6. Paul Smith with man of the match performance 8.8, Varane 7.2, Morgan 7.2, Harvey Bell 7.8, Colley 7.9, and Kone 6.6. The two players that had the worst was Kone and Mbenge. Now Mbenge was on a yellow card, Jimmy Dunn on a yellow, Paul Smith yellow, Colley yellow, and Kone yellow. I was a bit surprised that they didn't take off Mbenge, so yeah. But far from that, we saw Daniel Benny came on, Koki Sato, and Poku. Poku looked really good at certain parts of the game. Sato, not so much. But I feel like defensively was the main character yesterday for us, you know. Defensively, we need to make sure that we keep going as way we do. You know, I believe Ronnie is great. I believe Jimmy's great. Steve Cook's been pretty decent since West Ham. But yeah, apart from that, I would say it wasn't like terrible like we have been in the sense of games from what game was it? Was it the Borough game? I think it was the Borough game where we looked really bad, honestly. So yeah. Alright, let me look at the chat because this is going mental at the moment. The chat is just popping off. Let me look at the chat. Where did we end up? Where was we? No, it was Vale. Right, okay. H Football said is playoffs possible. Listen, look, by points, yes, of course playoffs is possible, but at the end of the day, let's be realistic. I don't think playoffs is gonna happen whatsoever. Playoffs is out of the action, in my opinion. We would technically have to win every game from now until the end of the season and make sure other games are pretty much a deadbeat, you know. But I don't see it happening. You know, look at the teams ahead of us. You know, you got Southampton, Wrexham, Hull, Ipswich. You know, majority of teams there are gonna be in the playoffs for sure. So yeah. Nick says frustrated that he didn't have Obiku as a sub, as Benny is not right whether or not he's a forward or winger, should be loaned out next season. Well, technically Benny would have been loaned out this season, but Benny, Nick, the reason why he didn't get loaned out was because of injuries. You know, we needed backup, and that was it really. So yeah, AB says I thought Morgan was very good yesterday, kept putting the ball forward. He did it was alright. I'm not gonna say he was great. He was alright, but I'm not gonna say it was great because, you know, until he shows parts of what last season, then yeah. Glad we had the good side of Iran back to normal, Nick says. Playoffs and Mr. Potato. I don't think playoffs is going to happen. Yeah, again, if you want my personal question. Personal answer, I'll say. AB says the midfielders generally was a lot better. Varane was good as well. Like I said, Varane, you know, I like Varane. I really do. But there's times where he's been good and he's been bad, you know. Personally, I think Varane does really well when it comes down to Maddison. Kieran Morgan seems to work well with Varane, but Kieran Morgan seems to struggle when he's with Maddison. So you know, that's my honest opinion on it. So yeah, Robert says that Varane is piss poor. Fair enough, cool, Robert. Yeah, again, another. I'm not gonna say hatred comment, but you're entitled to your opinion, 100%. Wouldn't be surprised to see Hayden come on Monday. Well, listen, it's only 2 days rest, Saturday and Sunday. So whether they're training or not this week, I don't know. Whether they're going to change the team up, not sure. But you know, we might see our new striker on the bench. You never know. Rob says, I do. He's so negative. Who's so negative? Who's negative? Re relocation, but mate, learn to spell, Tellboy. Honestly, learn to spell. He wasn't yesterday though. AB, what? I'm so confused. Varane, what did Varane do yesterday? Varane was alright. He wasn't shit. Listen, Varane wasn't shit. You just gotta kind of understand what is being played. You know, kind of what I would say is this, right? You got to remember, right? And this is what I have to say to people that are, because I come from what, 3 generations of football, maybe 2, okay? You got to remember, in your day there wasn't tactics. It was literally cloth tactics, what I call them, as in the sense of, all right, keeper, you make sure you stay on your line. Centre back wise, you clear the balls out. Wide wingers, make sure that ball goes down the line. Make sure you run down. That was technically what it was back in the 80s and 90s. But then 2000s come, the tactics have changed. You got more tactically adapted things. So you have maybe a double pivot. You might have one going up and down, and then you have the other midfielder going across, okay? Which Varane, to me, seems to be playing a little bit of a Carolero at the moment. And that's why I said yesterday, you know, Varane seems to be playing a bit more to help the wing backs, if that makes sense. And that's what you could see as well. So yeah, that's what I was honestly watching. But listen, Varane, to me, I know he can be good. I know there's times this season he's not been great, but he wasn't shit yesterday. Let's be honest, he wasn't shit, right? He wasn't brilliant and he wasn't shit. So yeah, that's what I would put. You know, our creativity has been coming from Vale and Smith on the wings at the moment. So yeah. Rubbish, he can't hold a ball to save his life. As in, I'm guessing you mean Kone. Yeah, but Kone did well. Kone's been doing really well lately. I personally think Kone's been doing well. Kone's actually been holding up the ball pretty well in the last, what, 3 games? So yeah. No need to be... wait, hang on. What's going on here? I've missed something here now. Kone getting better game by game, promising for next season. Listen, next season. I'm looking forward to next season. I'm always looking forward, unless it was a different manager. You know, we was pretty much in the dark for a little bit, but personally, next season, let's just see what happens. Let's get this season over and done with and go from there. AB says, did you watch the game? Destroyed the Watford midfield and was progressive. Kieran Morgan? AB, if you mean Kira, I don't know who you mean. Could you put the name in the next comment? DB, I love this chat, but sometimes I wonder if we are watching the same game. Oh man, you joker. Listen, look, I watch the games. I'm not gonna sit here with a blank screen, fucking just pretending I'm watching a game. Come on, I rushed home from work yesterday to watch this game for you guys. Not just you guys, but for my sake as well, because I think it's bloody brilliant what we have here, what the chat going and all of that. The joker about if watching the same game. Nick says, again, frustrated that he won't give Pokemon. Listen, he's not ready. He's not ready. Look, Nick, I said it on Twitter and I'll say it on here. Do not play Poku at all this season unless it's off the bench, because if he gets injured, that's another rest of the season. That's another, like, pretty much whole of summer he has to get rehabilitation. Just work it gradually, see how he does. He's not ready yet. I'll be honest. Give him time. I've said this, maybe keep him. To be honest, when you got Vale and Smith both in form, you can't really do much with changing players. So yeah, look, I like I said, when Chair comes back, and everyone like that, Chair will be on the bench. He won't be playing first team. I guarantee you that he'll be on the bench. So yeah, same as Burrell. I reckon he'll be on the bench. A lot of our play yesterday came from the wings. But Robert, technically a lot of our players coming from the wings this season anyway. If you've noticed, we're playing to the wings a lot, like Paul Smith, Harvey Vale and all of them guys, to cross the ball in or thread the ball in through the middle. You know? So a lot of our playing styles coming from the wings. So yeah. Abe says, you are clueless, lad. Who, me? I don't know who you are. I don't know what I know I'm obviously talking, but you need to let me know who I'm talking about. Robert says, no need to be rude. It's not being rude, law. It's facts. Varane is absolute rubbish. No, he's not rubbish, man. Varane's not rubbish. Listen, look, we all love Varane and we know it. we all know, we all love him, and we know it. So yeah. Wow, you lot hate Varane, Jesus Christ. Varane was the nuts yesterday. Wow, you have to be trolling. As it, are we talking about, right? Are we talking about Varane here? Are you lot talking about, is Varane shit? Is Varane good? What's going on? Robert says, watch the game again and count the amount of positive plays he contributed, no more than 5. Listen, look, it's not, look, you got to remember, if we're talking about Varane with plays, he's not a playmaker, he's not a creative player, whatever. He's a defensive midfielder, you know? He's there to defend. He's there to make sure to help defenders. And Kieran Morgan is there to help push the ball forward, you know? And that's how it is. Some great passes from the back to make space. It's been going pretty much okay for the last, Scott, I would say, the last couple of games. You know, I'm not a big fan of long balls, but it seems to be working at the moment. No, he wasn't shit. He was non-existent. Not fucking hell. AB says, this Robert guy is clueless. All he does is complain and call all up his shit. You gotta remember, AB, bruv. He comes from a different generation. Alright, Robert is, what, 50 years old? He's coming from an era that, like I said, Alan McDonald, all of these players, man. Players that actually get into tackle. Look, if you saw Loftus Road back in, what, 20-30 years ago, it was a lot different to now. You know, you would see flying tackles not even getting sent off. You know, that's the only way to say it. It's a different generation. You know, only the ones that are poor. Listen, look, the ones that I would say, look, the things that I would say that Robert agrees with me with is this, right? Is this. Paul Smith, he loves because he plays for the badge. He has heart. I would personally say he's a big fan of Jimmy Dunn as well. I would personally say he is a big fan of Burrell. I would personally say he's a big fan of Ryan Colley. I would say he's a big fan of me. No, I'm joking. That's a joke. No, but I think, no, Paul Smith, Ryan Colley, Jimmy Dunn. I'm trying to know who else. And Burrell. I think 4 players there. I think that's what I would say Robert is big fans of. That because they run around the pitch. I love the team. I don't like Varane and Kone. Fair enough. I know we still have a few games, but should we finish strong up the table, it bodes well next season with Bayern. Listen, whatever happens this season, we will finish in not getting relegated. I tell you that. Listen, everything I said, we're not getting relegated. Julian will get us promoted to the Premier League eventually. He should stay. He should not get sacked. He's the one to do it. I guarantee you 100%. He is going to be the one. Whether it's next season or the next season after that. Listen, I know we're impatient here. I know we want to be in the Premier League. But let's be more realistic and predictable. Unless we have the right players that Julian needs in that team, then cool. Like I said, I reckon Ilias Share will not be a QPR player if we go up. That's my, you know, I think Ilias Share's great. I think he plays for the badge. I love him. I think he's a great player. But personally, the injuries we have to look at realistically. There's a certain amount of injuries like Jake Clark or Ilias Share. Poku now is a bit of a worry. You know, these type of players are going to be a bit of a problem for us, you know. I love Chair, love Poku, love Clark Sower. But at the end of the day, if Clark Sower gets injured every season for God knows how long, we're fucked. We're paying him 20 grand to sit on a hospital bed. It's mad, you know. And I don't hate him. I just have to speak realistic about it, you know, as a football fan and as a QPR fan. So yeah, but listen, this season let's just finish top 10, and that's my prediction completed for the start of the season. My bet is completed, and go from there. What happened to Sayo? Sayo's not been the same. I would say maybe we need to play him in the middle a lot more. If we ever do 4-2-3-1 or whatever. But I personally think, I personally think Sato should play in the middle. That's all I would say. Sato has not been the same for a while. I think everyone knows that, and we've got a lot of work to do. Nick says, I get what you're saying, DB, about Poku. I'm not saying from the start, but he's got to have at least 45. Yeah, I agree, but if you play him at the start of the game and he gets injured, we're fucked. We're pretty fucked. We have to take him off. So if we play him at half time, maybe. But I think the reason why we didn't play him that much yesterday was the fact being we were in a comfortable position. And we didn't really need any wingers to come off. Yeah. AB says that Varane is the best player in the world. Oh, bah, Jesus Christ. Okay, I will step in and say he's not the best player, but I know where you're coming from. I know what you're saying. I know that. Look, I like Varane. I've said this, but he's not been the best this season. Like I said, there's glimpses that of certain games he's been great, but I prefer the Varane that I saw last season personally after the Blackburn sending off. Telby says, I really rate Greg Taylor, good player. Listen, Greg Taylor's not coming to QPR anymore. It's that simple. That was last season, January, not happening. Robert says 63. Obviously, that's your age. I love the team. I don't like Varane and Kone. Avery says, I think he's a big fan of Varane and Kone. Who me? Robert says, love you, DB. Scott says, I agree about Julian. I know why you like Julian now. Julian loves Vale, as do you. Listen, look, it's not about loving Vale. Look, when Paul Smith came to the club, I thought he was brilliant when I watched him play. When Ryan Mannings came to the club, I thought he was brilliant because these guys are playing for the badge. They run up and down the pitch, and that's what I want to see. You know, I don't want to see a player on the halfway line with his blimmin' hands on his waist waiting for the ball. I know Taarabt was half of that time, but Taarabt kind of was a magician. You know, he was pretty much the championship Ronaldinho, in my opinion. You know, I'm not comparing him to Ronaldinho, but it's the nearest thing to Ronaldinho, in my opinion. You know, I'm not saying he was Ronaldinho, so don't hate me for saying that, but he was the championship Ronaldinho. Okay, hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I love Vale because Vale is a quality player. If you can name me one player that can play left back, left mid, left wing, right back, right wing, right mid, and anywhere in midfield, then cool. But as far as I'm aware, Harvey Vale, it's the player that I've wanted at QPR for 3 seasons from Chelsea, and now he's here, 100%. I like Julian. I think Julian was a bit of a risk at the start. I didn't know much about what he would do. I would put my hands up and say I wanted PSH. I'll be honest, I wanted PSH. I think if we had PSH, we'd probably be promoted. I personally think we would be promoted if we had PSH this season. But Julian came in. He has very good experience, and I reckon he'll do the trick once he gets the players that he needs in this team. You know, he's still got a couple. I would say if we can get some decent players in this transfer window, obviously he has admitted we need to sell, and I can see why. Then you know it has to be. What else we got here? Toby says he hates me. Thank you very much, Tel. You Scottish guy. Telboy says Greg Taylor can. Greg Taylor's not coming to QPR. I keep saying this. Greg Taylor was only a link at the end of the day. That's like saying, oh, right. Gary Hooper back to Celtic or something like that, you know. Julian managed 2 clubs and was thrown out of 1. Well, I'll put it this way. It was his second season where he was thrown out of it, and there was a reason for it, I reckon. Personally, I think Rennes, the first season, smashed it. Strasbourg, first season, smashed it. Went back to Rennes, wasn't the same. And that was because of certain things. Julian, with everyone's player's opinion, I think that we're now seeing the new signings coming good and their best positions. Julian, best manager we had since Warnock, Crip says. Stat-wise, it kind of says a little bit, but personally, I would say Michael Bill. I would say Michael Bill was our last great manager. He looked very good. You know, the attacking was brilliant. Unfortunately, because of what happened with him and the club, you know, when our injuries player returns, we will be a force to be reckoned. Robert, that is a big statement coming from you. That is a big statement coming from you, Robert. Jesus Christ. Damn. That's a big statement. Listen, I hate putting the injury situation involved in this, but yes, I agree with Robert in the sense of injuries can be a big problem in our last couple of seasons, you know. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, you're making up excuses." We're really not. Listen, look, if you look at the stats, right? Burrell, I personally think could have finished in Golden Boot this season if he didn't get injured. People have to realize these people are new to the championship, and so is JS. So patience can go a long way. Did Bill move to the real Rangers? Oh my God, why are you trolling? Can we just please chat? Just everyone, just demolish Hellboy right now. This guy is a troll. This guy is a troll. Can everyone just destroy this guy, please? He supports Celtic, he does. Why are you here, Celtic boy? Come on, why are you here? And he supports Man City as well. Come at me, fucking hell. No one's gonna come at you. I don't think anyone's gonna come at you. Cool. Where was we at anyway? We've read some of the messages. Yeah. So brilliant game yesterday. Let's say this brilliant game. I really enjoyed it. Just catching up with you guys as well. Absolutely smashed it with the stream again and hitting the likes as always. Man of the match performance from Paul Smith. Oh, for God's sake! Yeah, now you're trolling. Developed man like Camavinga, Dembele, Doku, who'll get the best out of these players. Crypt. I agree with Crypt. Look, he has developed some great players. He has, but realistically, this is QPR. It's completely different. You know, we have to have a good academy, and we're starting to get that. Once we get the one license or whatever it's called, we should be all right. But yeah, yesterday. Man of the match, Paul Smith, great performance, 2-1, brilliant. Dembele a bit injury prone. God's sake. Wow, okay. Yeah. So 3 games on the trot, 3 wins. Robert says looking forward to Monday, will you be on? It was the same before he left us, flipping neck. Monday, I'll talk about Monday in a second. But yeah, 3 games on the trot. Leicester, Portsmouth, and Watford. We have obviously Preston next on Monday away. It's going to be a difficult game, I would say. We'll do our match preview tomorrow. Will I be live on Monday? It depends. You know, I'm hoping hoping to be live second half. Right, second half. I'm hoping to be live, but I do have work on Monday. So if I can do the same thing on Friday, if I have the same type of jobs on Monday as I do on Friday, I should be able to make it home for 3 o'clock. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll set up the stream anyway. But whether it's gonna be a bit late or on time, I don't know. But we'll try and definitely get online on Monday for that watch along for sure. Like I said, we have Preston. We're sitting 10th at the moment, -5 goal difference, 56 goal points. Sorry, 56 points. What am I saying? Goal points. We've only got what 6 games left, is it? Yeah, 6 games left. It's 46 games we play. I'm hoping I'm right there. Jesus Christ. Let me have a look at our fixtures. So yeah, we have 6 games left. Preston, Bristol, Millwall, Swansea, Derby, and Ipswich all next, and it ends in May. So next month we've got a month of football left, and let's see what happens, what we do. Apart from that, hopefully we stay tuned on Monday, hopefully, but no, we will win the league. Okay, fair enough. No, next season we'll get playoffs. We got 8 places, as the group says. 100%. Yeah, it's a big opportunity for us. How many wins you getting out of the last 6? All right, you really want to know that? Right, okay. So Preston, I think we can beat Preston away. Bristol City at home, I think we can beat them. Millwall will be a loss. Swansea at home will win. Derby at home will win. I reckon we'll win 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 6 games. If we can win 4 out of 6 games, I'll be happy with that. Ipswich can be tough and Millwall's going to be tough. But realistically, I think we could win out 4 out of 6 games here, personally. So let's hope and see what happens and go from there. I think 1-1 in my head, but hoping for a 1-0 win to us. Even though I'll do the prediction tomorrow, obviously for Preston, when we do the preview. But we'll go from there, really. So yeah, apart from that, we're gonna leave it there for today. We've gone on for 41 minutes, mate. These previews and watch alongs are going mental at the moment. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Much love, much appreciated for all you guys in the chat for tuning in. And don't forget to hit the like button. It does help the channel. It does help the videos get pushed out a bit more. So please do like the video. Much appreciated. Let's see if we can hit 10 likes. Let's see if we can hit 10 likes on the preview shows and the reactions. So yeah, apart from that, we'll leave you lot to it. We will, and we'll be back tomorrow with our preview show. If you want to catch us, we will be on Twitch most days. If you want to go check out the link below in the video. But apart from that, have a lovely evening. Have a lovely day, I should say, not evening yet. But yeah, have a great Easter. We'll catch you tomorrow. As always, all of you in the chat as well, thumbs up to all you guys. Peace, love, positivity. We'll catch you very soon tomorrow. Cheers, boys.